Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's video we're going to take a look at a song called Lithium by Nirvana. This is a very cool song, very fun to play, and it's a pretty straightforward, very easy to play. I think it's great for beginners and obviously Nirvana fans. So if you haven't had the chance to learn this song, we're going to break it down in this video. There is nothing really much to say. The tops and the backing track are going to be available at GuitarForce.com or on my Patreon page. If you would like to support the channel, I'd appreciate that. All of the links are going to be in the description box down below. Other than that, we're going to be in one whole step down, so we're going to be in D standard. And obviously for this song, for this lesson, I was using two presets. I was using the guitar rig as usual. And I'm going to show you the pictures of the presets I was using right now. While you're checking them out, I'm going to play you my low E, which is D, so you can tune up and play along with this song. Alright, so as always, we're going to break up this lesson into parts. Technically speaking, we have three figures going on here, but we're going to break it up into two parts, and also we can look at it like this. We have a clean guitar, clean part, and then we have distorted guitar. So we're going to start off with the clean guitar. So in the clean part, we have a very nice, cool chord progression going on. And first I'm going to outline the chords that are being played in this song, and then we're going to talk about the stylistic style of playing. So starts off with the E power chord. By the way, throughout the entire song, and generally speaking, Kurt was using a lot of power chords, minor and major as well, but in a lot of times he would use just the power chords. So in this song we're going to be using just power chords. So the chord progression starts off with the E, then we go to G sharp, power chord, then we have C sharp, then we have A, then we have C to D, and then we have B to D. And that's the whole chord progression. Now, the way he was playing, he had kind of a unique style of playing, especially the rhythm guitar, and in this particular figure we're going to have a lot of passing notes, a lot of palm muted notes, and a lot of kind of muted strings as well, and all of that is done by like I said, the specific style of his playing. So when he goes from one chord to another, for example, he plays these, what I call the passing notes, in particular most of the time on the low E string open. Alright, so for example, when he goes, when he plays like that, when he goes from chord to chord, he would a lot of times would use these passing notes. And it's because he's right, he was lefty, so his picking hand, was constantly moving. So when you are moving from one chord to another, you're not stopping your hand, the picking hand, and that's why you get this, also if you palm use a little bit, you get these passing notes. So keep that in mind. Even though it's a relatively easy chord progression, right? So you go just... right? Relatively easy, but all of these things like passing notes, palm muted, and also rhythmically, sometimes you just hit the chord, let it ring out, or sometimes you kind of almost arpeggiate the chord. You can't really arpeggiate too much on the power chord because it's only 2 notes or 3 notes at most, but still, because of that rhythmical playing, that's why it sounds cool like that, So If I'm gonna get into kind of more details, talking about note by note, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to understand. But generally speaking, when I present it like that, when you go from one chord to another using the open string, the low E predominantly as a passing notes, also arpeggiating the chords, palm muting, you get the whole figure going on like that. So nonetheless, let's go over the chord progression in general, and I'll try to explain what we play here. So like I said, we start off with the E power chord. It's predominantly just the low E string open. Then we have muted strings. Then we have passing notes. Then we go to the G sharp, and we kind of arpeggiate it a little bit. Then we go to the C sharp, and kind of the same way. And also notice, so when I'm playing the beginning of the chords, I'm playing always with the downstroke, and also when I'm arpeggiating kind of the chord, I'm also playing with the downstroke. But then in the end, I play with the rest of the chord with an upstroke. So you create this that sound. So that's how it's done. So you play predominantly down strokes, and then the end of the chord you play with an upstroke. All right. So let's go one more time. So we start off with the E, like I said. Then you have the passing note. Then you go to the G sharp. You arpeggiate it a little bit. Then again passing notes. We go to the C sharp. Palm muting, arpeggiating, with an upstroke, play the rest of the chord. Then the same on A. And then when we get to C, you open up a little bit. So when you go from C to D and then B to E, you also open up a little bit to ring out, to make the chord ring out, and also hear the strings and notes a little bit better. And yeah, it's all about the rhythm. All right. So now I'm gonna play the whole chord progression a little bit slower, so you can hear and see what's going on. All right. So it goes like this. And just a side note, just to give you a little tip, don't get too much into details. It's all about, we are discussing here in every detail, but once you start playing it, and even when Kurt was playing, he would play it differently, a little bit differently every time. So it's just a stylistic kind of thing where you're changing from chord to chord, and using the palm mute and open low E string or other strings as passing notes. So if you hit it 2 times or 3 times, if you hang on to the note a little bit longer or shorter, it doesn't really matter. As long as you are changing the chords at the right time, that's what counts. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so now we're going to break down the second part of the song, which is using the distorted guitar. It's a little bit more straightforward, a little bit easier to play. So basically in the first part we have the same chord progression. Rhythmically it changes a little bit more straightforward. So we have here quarter notes, eighth notes. Again, doesn't really matter that much when you're playing, as long as you are changing the chords at the right time, as I always say. And again, we have these passing notes played with an upstroke. So let me just demonstrate, play it through the part, and then I'll talk a little bit more. So it goes like this. as you can see, very straightforward. Again, we have the same chords: E, G sharp, C sharp, A, C to D, B to D. And we're playing them in a more, like I said, straightforward rhythm, so eighth notes, quarter notes and stuff like that. But every time when you are changing the chords, you have these open strings, like I mentioned before, as passing notes. So when you have, you know, it could be one or two strings, it doesn't really matter, but you get this kind of like a sort of almost like a biting sound, you know, before you are changing the chords. So here, for example, I'm playing with an upstroke, you know, 2-3 strings or something like that, and that gives that a very nice sound to the whole figure. So that's pretty much it for this part. Then we have the second part of distorted guitar, another part of the song, which goes like this. Okay, so here we have the beginning A power chord going to C, and we alternate between these two chords. So we have again, rhythmically it's pretty much straightforward, you know, eighth notes, quarter notes and stuff like that, although he kind of alternates the first time when he plays the C chord. So we have so a little bit slower, you know, just two quarter notes, and then second time he would play eighth notes. So a little bit more of, you know, that sound. You can play it with a downstroke, or you can play it down, up, doesn't really matter. And we're alternating between these two chords for the duration of the part. And then in the end, we go to the D power chord, then to B, and then in the end we have, so it's basically E, then we have G, back to E again. You can play either just the strings, like open low E to the G note, the 3rd fret, but and then back again to the E power chord, but it sounds a little bit better if you use the power chords as well. All right, so that's pretty much it for this part. Let me play it one more time. It's gonna go like this. And again, as you may notice, that I'm using the open strings, couple of 2-3 strings open as passing notes, and I'm playing them with an upstroke when I'm changing from one chord to another. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this part. Then it comes down to the structure of the song, so we alternate between the clean guitar and distorted guitar, you know, the different parts of the song. So just listen carefully, I'm sure you're going to be able to figure it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the entire song. Alright guys, that was it for this lesson. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.